Hey, welcome to XPPen 6 Weeks Animator Incubation. In this lesson, I'm gonna show you how to do the pendulum. It's going to be something like this. As you can see, the pendulum is moving really smoothly from side to side, just like we did with the box. We're gonna follow the same procedure. Okay, so by now you should be familiar and it should be way easier. So let's get it started. I have Clip Studio Paint open, so I just press Ctrl N to create a new document. It's going to be animation, and then 1920, it's going to be 24, and then for this I'm going to lower it to maybe 70. Okay, I press OK, and now I'm ready. Again, I'm going to start by renaming the animation folder. Double click and then name it Pendulum. All right. Now I'm going to click on frame 1, that selects the layer, and then press number 6, and that has this on a new layer folder. That's very important. Without it, the technique to copy the frames won't work. Okay, now I press U to get the figure drawing, and I'm going to select the ellipse. Now, when you create an ellipse, usually it does it like this. But I want to create an ellipse from the center. So let me undo. I press Ctrl C. And for that, you have to activate this. But I don't think it's going to be available unless you click the settings and then go to shape operation and then activate this one. Usually it doesn't have like a little eye. Just click on it and it appears there. Okay, I'm ready. Now I can close it and click start from the center. Now I click and drag and hold shift, and that's gonna be the circle for our pendulum. I press Ctrl T and then put this around here, and then I'm going to create a line. So for that, I press enter, and then I'm going to go up in here and then click on straight line. I'm gonna try to put it exactly on the center right there, and then hold shift to have it really vertical, and then put it around here on the top of the screen right there. Now this whole thing is ready to start doing the pendulum exercise. So what we're gonna do is put it in the starting position. The problem is that if I rotate it, it's rotating from the center, and I want to rotate it from the start of the drawing. So let me press ESC to disable the transformation. Then I'm gonna press Ctrl T, and then this is the pivot point. I can just click and drag and put it at the top right there. Now I can rotate. This is going to be the starting position. And if I hold shift, look, it's rotating perfectly to 45 angles. Okay, can you see? So with that, I have a perfect 45 angle inclination. I press enter, and now I'm ready to start the animation. Now, with everything in position, we're gonna do the same plan as we did in the last lesson. I'm going to create a new animation folder and then call it, double click, plan. And then I'm going to create a new animation cell, pressing Q, and that's it. I'm ready. Now, with the brush, I just pressed B to take the brush, and I'm going to draw a little it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just need this to be aligned, okay? And then it's going to be like this. This is gonna be the movement. All I do is divide this in half, which is around here, and then half again, and then half again, and then half again, and finally half again. Okay, so this one can be a little bit tricky. So now I can just go to the timeline and click on the pendulum. That selects the correct layer in the layers panel. And now before I start with the sequence, I'm going to activate the onion skin. I press Shift Q, and now I can start. I press 4, Ctrl T, and then bring the pivot point to the corner right here, and then move it just a little bit. I'm just trying to have the distance between these two lines to match the same distance. Let me use the annotations. The same distance of here. and mimic it right there. That's all I'm looking for. With that said, I think we are not there yet. It should be around there. I press enter, and then I press 4, Control T, which I'm actually pressing K2, but I'm gonna be saying Control T so people don't get confused. And then I repeat that same distance right here. Okay. Then 4, Control T, and then I'm going to repeat this distance right here. It has to be that separate, so it's gonna be around there. Okay, so let's do this. Oops, let me press ESC because I didn't set the pivot point in the correct place right here. And now let's do it. It has to be around there. This distance, remember, in here has to be the same as in here. I press OK, and then 4, Control T, move this to the corner, and then repeat that same distance I see below here. Okay, around there. And then press OK, 4, Control T, move the pivot point, and then rotate to be around there. Then press OK, 4, Control T, move the pivot point, and we are almost done with the first half. Let's try to have it as perfectly aligned as possible. Okay, let's see if I got it. I just pressed enter and then press Control T, and no, I can see that I don't have it because this should be almost at the center. So let me rotate it a little bit more. I just pressed Control T, right? So let me bring this to the top and then rotate it just a little bit more around there. Then press Control T. There. Now this is centered. So I think that is perfect. Okay. Now we don't have the complete animation yet, right? We still need this to go to the other side. But all we're going to do now is repeat it. And the first thing I want to do is zoom in here. I'm going to press Control Space and then click and drag just to make sure that all the layers are aligned perfectly. So let's go back. I'm gonna press 1 to go to the previous drawing, and then press Control T and then move it a little bit. Well, actually, I'm going to align everything with the first layer. Now I want to cancel this. I'm going to click on No, and then go to the first frame, and then that's the spot I want right there. So what I'm going to do is with the brush, I'm going to make it really small with a number 5 in here. And what I'm gonna do is draw a little dot in here, a little circle right there. Okay, so all the objects have to align perfectly there. So I go to the next one, I press 2, Control T, and then try to center it in that circle. I press enter, then 2, Control T, and then have it perfectly centered. 2, Control T, and that one is not perfectly in the spot right there. And then 2, Control T. I think that one is okay. 2, Control T. This one was too way up. 2, Control T. This one has to be around there. Then 2, Control T, and there. Now everything is perfectly aligned. I press Control 0, and now I know this pendulum is perfect. So all I need to do is create a flip version of all these layers. So what I'm gonna do is take this one, duplicate it, and put it here. But it's not gonna be the same frame. It's going to be a duplicate that I can just flip. So I'm just gonna take this, click on this animation cell, and then I can use this automation. If you go to the automations here, I'm going to be using copy, frame copy, and then frame paste, which, let me show you what I did. If you go to auto action and then open it here, I have them assigned to 8 and 9. So really easy, I just press 8 and then go to this frame and then press 9, and then it pastes. Oops, but it has to be one frame more. Okay, now I take the 5, press 8, and then go to this frame and then paste it right there. So remember, the 7 is the center. So I have 2 here, and then I take the 4. The 4, and then paste it there, and then take the 3, and then paste it there, then take the 2, let me move this, and then paste it there, and then take the 1, and finally paste it there. Okay, so now we have a weird animation. Look, boop. it kind of bounces. So all we have to do is go to, this is frame 7. This is the center one. Let's press 1 to go to the next one, which is 8, and then press I to flip it. Really easy. Now I click Shift to put it in place right there, and then press Enter. I'm gonna press 2, then I, and then move it to the other side. It doesn't have to be perfect. Later I'm going to zoom in to make sure everything is on spot. Then Enter. 2, I, and then put it in place. 2, I, put it in place. 2, I, put it in place. And finally 2, I, put it in place. Now I'm going to zoom in to make sure everything is aligned perfectly. So let me go back. This is 8. This is 7. And then I press 2, Control T. I think this one is almost on spot. Let me press Enter. Yeah. And then this one moves a little bit to the side. There you go. Let me compare. Very good. And then I press 3. This is the cell drawing number 10. Let me move it a little bit to the side. Around there. That's 10. This is the 9, 10, 11. This one needs to be moved a little bit. Then I go to cell 12. This has to be moved quite a bit. Let me go back. There you go. And then the last one. Oof, this has to be moved right there. All right, there you go. Okay, very nice. And actually, I can see that the spot is only, I didn't paint the spot on this layer, but it's okay. Let me press Ctrl 0, and now look at this. Perfect. Now it goes to the other side. And all we have to do is do the same as we did in the last one. I just moved 2 frames forward. I'm using 2 frames forward with this, 2 frames, and then A12, and then 2 frames forward, A11, 2 frames forward, A10, 2 frames forward, A9, 2 frames forward, A8, 2 frames forward, A7, 2 frames forward, A6, 2 frames forward, A5, 2 frames forward, A4, 2 frames forward, A3, 2 frames forward, A2, 2 frames forward, and finally A1. There you go. Now we are ready. Let me zoom out and bring this back. And actually, it's going to end right here. And you know what? What if we hold the center position? The other extreme, which I believe, let me zoom in a little bit. I believe it's the number 13. Okay, so number 13, I'm going to insert 2 frames there. Control F, then Tab, I tap 2, Enter. There you go. And that's it. Let me just make sure we have 2 frames in here. Oops, we have 3. So let me scoop this a little bit in. There you go. Now I can press W and play it. There you go. That's the pendulum. Let me make the plan invisible, and there we have it. Very easy to do. Really nice. I love it. Hopefully by this point you know how easy you can do animations with all these techniques, right? So that's it for this lesson. Now in the next one we're gonna be talking about timing. See you there.